little extra attention to your GPA might jump you up. Like if you're in the top 12% and you're conscious about it and work hard and can get yourself up into the top 10%, at a highly selected school, that may make a difference. But I wouldn't suggest to anybody that you spend a whole bunch of time focusing your energy on your class rank, because it really shouldn't be about how you're competing with other students in your school. It should be about, are you doing the most and the best that you can personally do? All right, standardized testing. What are the common standardized tests that are accepted by colleges and universities in the United States? SAT and ACT, what's the difference between the two? So the ACT has a science portion on it, and the SAT does not. If you're taking those two tests, what's the major difference in your approach when you take them? Anybody know?
SAT, I think SAT you should not guess because you're written down when you guess wrong. ACT doesn't matter if you get it wrong, it's just a zero.
Very good. That's the correct answer. I don't know if everybody heard you. On the SAT, you are marked down for a wrong answer, whereas on the ACT you are not. So if you're taking the SAT and it's a multiple choice of 4, you should not guess unless you can definitely eliminate 2 answers. On the ACT, it doesn't hurt you to guess if you run out of time and you fill in boxes on the last 6 that you didn't even read. It won't work against you and you might luck out and one of them might be right. So that's the major difference in approach. Statistically, about 85% of students get a commensurate score. And a commensurate score is just a statistical analysis that someone did that says, if you have X on your SAT, it's likely to translate to Y on your ACT. And most students, those X's and Y's come out really close. For some reason that no one has really determined, although there's a bunch of theories, there are some students who do way better on one than the other. So in the state of Oregon, most high schools have gone to using the ACT as something they give all 4 years or offer all 4 years at their school in order to be able to benchmark their school against other schools in our state. And so many of you will get the ACT automatically at your school, perhaps for no charge. It used to be that the SAT was preferred by schools on the coast, West Coast or East Coast, and the ACT was preferred by schools in the middle of the country. Nowadays, that's not so much true, and pretty much every university will take either. So it's up to you. Do you have to take standardized tests to get into all colleges?
Yes, sometimes.
Not all. There is a big majority that require them, but certainly you can go to community college without standardized testing. Our Oregon colleges do not base any admission decisions, the 7 public schools, on your SAT or ACT score. They do ask that you submit it for statistical purposes. You can petition the Oregon schools to not submit your score. There's a fair amount of private colleges that are now going to a test optional component. Lewis and Clark is one of those here in our state. What I would say about test optional private colleges is they expect you to have a really high GPA. If you don't submit your test scores, they're expecting a higher GPA than they would normally expect from a student who does submit their test scores. So should you check the box on your SAT or ACT when you take it that says you can send it to 4 colleges automatically for free, which 4 colleges do you want it to go to? It costs about $9.50 every time you want to send your scores to college. So they offer you 4 for free.
Never, because you get that feel bad that it goes to college anyway. But if you take it and get it back, you don't have to take the college. You can choose which one you want to send.
So
like different colleges that have like you can select which one to send to the next exam. The focus on knowledge that colleges and let you take the off which one you want to go. Then you will lose that option if you take say $9.50 for
I don't know if everybody can hear Logan, but that's pretty good advice. What I would say is, in general, I don't recommend that you send your scores before you see them, with the exception being the state universities where it doesn't really matter, unless you intend to apply for honors college. So does anybody know about honors college at OSU or University of Oregon and how that works? What can you share with us?
I think the minimum GPA was a 3.75, plus then you need to have an 1850 on the SAT.
3.75, 1850 combined on the SAT. Does that guarantee that you'll be accepted into the honors college? So that's the minimum threshold to apply. Honors college at many colleges, not just at U of O and OSU, is a way to make a smaller setting within a larger university. So at OSU, they yield approximately 160 students each year who are accepted into honors college who actually attend. I believe they might accept more like 500 to 600 because a lot of students who are accepted into honors college choose to go to a private university and don't end up going to OSU. Good things about honors college is that most schools, and the University of Portland has an excellent honors college. You often at the state school get priority for picking your classes. So at both OSU and U of O, you somewhat mitigate that problem of it's hard to get through in 4 years if you're in the honors college, because honors college students get to pick classes even before seniors. So that's a nice perk. At OSU, usually you're going to take 5 classes a semester, and 1 or 2 of those will be in the honors college, and the rest of them will be just regular coursework that you chose. At U of O, almost all of your classes will be in the honors college, and it will almost be like a separate school within the bigger school. So your peer group for almost all of your classes will be the other honors college students. So the approach to honors college is very different at U of O and OSU. Tons of private universities like University of Portland, Denison, UW, all have honors colleges as well. Oftentimes they require an extra essay on your application and have an earlier deadline. So if you're thinking about honors colleges, make sure you read the fine print about the application so you don't miss any of the pieces of that. Okay, I'm going to bop down on my well, maybe not. Deb, are you in here? Can you make this scroll down for me? It's just not doing. Maybe it's put on the notes that I don't know. Okay, next thing I want to talk about are recommendation letters and essays. When you apply to college, most schools require a recommendation letter. Usually they require 1 from your school counselor and 2 from teachers. And if you are a teacher or a counselor, what do you think it's like for you in September and October at a high school? It's really crazy. Depending on the size of your high school, some teachers are asked to write more than 100 letters in about a 4 or 5 week period. When you have a teacher, they may stick out really well in your mind, and you might have funny stories of things that happened during the time that you took their class. But please remember that the average teacher deals with 150 students a semester, and you may not be as memorable to them as they were to you. And I'm sorry if that's heartbreaking information, but in general, when you ask a teacher to write you a letter of recommendation, you really want to make it easy for them. And the ways to make it easy for them are to jog their memory. So I always recommend, if you're going to ask a teacher, that you have a 1-page, I just call it the rec letter cheat sheet. It's sort of like a little resume about yourself that says to the teacher, so, by the way, here's sort of some basic academics about me. Here's all the classes I